Hello and welcome to episode 140 of the Daily Sales Message, where every single day for 140 days in a row, and nearly half a year, I've dished out 140, well, this will be the 140th, so I've dished out 139 pieces of actionable practical advice that's designed to help you feel more confident and sell more stuff, and it derives itself from my unique methodology that I have. I teach people how to sell for a living. I lecture on this stuff at universities like UCL and Birkbeck, etc. It comes from there. I have turned sales and selling into paint by numbers. I've simplified it so anybody could do it. Yes, even you. I don't think selling should be this big, scary thing. It's a learnable skill like any other. But as far as I'm aware, nobody has ever taken the time, because it's taken me about 6 years to do it, to itemize pretty much every single situation and every single structure and mechanism and tactic you can use to find, engage, close, follow up, sell more to people, retain them, keep them happy, etc. That's the nature of my work, and it's pretty much become my life's work, to be honest with you. Anyway, without getting too deep, let me tell you today how I sell to people. And this is really weird, because when I sell to a client on the phone, or on a Zoom call, I'm not that old-fashioned, when we get to a certain point in the conversation, I'll end up telling them what I've done and explain to them how I sell as part of me kind of demonstrating what I do and proving myself to them, etc. It's a strange inception, sale within a sale, dream within a dream kind of thing, but it's really bloody simple. And it goes like this. When I talk to somebody on the phone, I have a sales call, a potential buyer. I don't have any agenda whatsoever. I don't really do much prep at all. Judge me for that if you want, but I've taken quite a few phone calls now, quite a few Zoom calls. I start the call with, tell me, what are you trying to achieve? And or how do you think I can help you get there? Completely low pressure, completely, well, let's just have a chat and investigate and see what's what. Not, right, let me tell you about my packages and see what we can do. No. Tell me, what are you trying to achieve here? And why do you think I can help you? What do you think I can do for you that's going to help accelerate that, help you achieve that? And I shut up and I listen to them. And then from there, I'll link their problem to my offer. Oh, actually, okay, so you've got this problem, you might need this, and that problem is that, and you've probably had that problem and thought that thing. Okay, right. I'll have a little conversation. My goal is to get them excited and interested and inspired, which is a funny word to use, isn't it? But inspired by the things I'm talking to them about, so much so that at some point they say, so James, what do you charge? How does this work? Now, not everybody's going to agree with my approach here. And certainly if somebody doesn't ask me what I charge or how it works, on a case-by-case basis, I may then suggest it to them, and I've got a very unique way of doing that also that's quite surreptitious. It's not, ba-ba, here's my prices. It's a little bit different. But I'm trying to get people excited, inspired, so they ask me. I'm trying to attract people to me, and that comes back to this notion of control. Your buyer wants to feel like and actually be in control of the situation. So if I'm getting them excited, talking about what I can do, throwing out a few tidbits, a few examples, etc., for the messaging I might do and the things that we could possibly do together, and then they ask me, it puts them in a position of power in the conversation. But ironically, it also puts me in a position of power, because if they're asking me how much they charge and how it works, well, it's a pretty strong indicator that they're probably going to go ahead as long as something dramatic doesn't happen. So this is one for you to experiment with for yourself, and it's certainly taken me a few years and a few bajillion Zoom calls and phone calls to get to this point. But starting with, how can I help you? What's the problem? How do you think I can help you? And then talking and then relaying everything, linking it all back together to what they're after, but waiting for them to ask you, essentially, waiting for them to get excited, that works really well for me. And that keeps my conversion rate pretty high. Like I say, it's not everybody's cup of tea. Some people think it's a real kamikaze way of doing it, and we should be following a structured process every time. It's not how I do it, but I know it works for me, and I definitely know it works for my students too. So for the next few sales calls that you might have, give that a try. See if you can get people excited enough to want to buy from you, to want to ask you, and notice how it feels when it happens, and notice whether or not those people actually do move on to buy or not. And then you can make a decision as to whether or not that's going to work for you. But attraction is the name of the game. That's what I like to do. Tomorrow, in episode 141 of the Daily Sales Message, we're going to be talking about pressure, pressuring people into buying from you, pushing people into buying from you. I really don't believe in it. And there's a particular thing that I do to remove the pressure and alleviate the weird and awkwardness in a conversation. And I'll explain that all in tomorrow's episode. If you haven't already, please hit the like or subscribe button, whether you're watching this on YouTube, whether you're listening to this on your podcast platform of choice. Interacting with the podcast, sharing it with people, liking, commenting, etc. just helps us to please the silly algorithm gods and helps us to reach more people with what I hope you'll agree is quite valuable yet simple and practical advice. It's my mission to teach the world to sell, and I've got a lot of stuff I can share for free, so if you could help me get it into the hands of those business owners, those coaches, consultants, and people who need it, I'm not going to say no, am I? Thank you for your time and attention and listening or watching all the way to the end. I'll see you tomorrow for another exciting edition of the Daily Sales Message.